edge. But
Right.
I've got to come out of that funk, and I've got to respond to that person and give them hope. And out of me giving them hope, it gives me hope.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
when I was reading your bio, I thought that title, if you're going to fall forward. I said, it's amazing the things that we teach and preach and want, the message we want to get across is because we've already been through it and we're passionate about it. And sometimes we call it, I think, into existence. I've
Yes.
been sharing for years, do not give up. And I'm like, the days when I want to give up, like, wait a minute, Joel, you have the website. How
Exactly.
dare you want to give up when that is your website? So I'm thinking, all right, maybe I need to change the name of my website to I Am Wealthier.
Listen, I thought the same. It is so funny you said that. I was just saying that the other day. I went, I'm actually
Yes.
really getting pretty good at these obstacles. I'd like a smooth, extended smooth patch for maybe I can
Yes.
say slide and
Yes.
glide and keep smiling. I don't know, maybe.
I know it. I know. Well, I can hear the joy in your voice, and if there's anything that you could say to my listeners, male and female, young and old, successful and those that are struggling, what would you say to someone? I love scriptures and I love quotations. We all embrace those, but there may be a life lesson that Lee Fuller could just put out there to the universe. And yes, you do have a scripture or a favorite quote, anything that you'd like to share to that person that's listening and saying, I've lost my joy, I've lost my way. I don't feel resilient. I don't feel like joy is coming in the morning. I feel like God has forsaken me. I feel tired. I feel burned out. What would you say to that person saying, I'm glad I tuned in to Jewel Diamond Taylor's show today, but right now I need something practical. I need to hear something that is going to give me that energy to keep pressing forward.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I will share a scripture, Psalm 5:12. For thou, O Lord, will bless the righteous, and with favor he'll surround him like a shield. That's a scripture that's real close to me. And here's what it means to me on one level. I act as if and live as if I am surrounded by love, favor, protection, everything. Meaning, life then becomes something that I'm observing. I mean, bombs are dropping and tragedies are happening around me, but there's a lot of beauty that's going on too. So the shield that protects
you gotta say it. That's right.
Gives me an opportunity to observe it all. I don't have to absorb it all. I can observe it. Now that's one thing that keeps me. But here's the reality: we face some of those things because sometimes we forget about that shield being around us. So one of the things I had to learn to do was just accept the fact that I am loved. Now, I may not always feel lovable. I may not always act lovable, but I have to accept that. And I would say to anyone, accept the fact that you are loved. And we are still babies when it comes to eternity and time. Because we're a blip in eternity. So we are still babies.
Right.
We are growing. So it's okay. We make mistakes and we make a mess. It's like when babies make a mess, we clean them up. We don't condemn them. We don't throw them away. We do what we can to nurture and just believe that there's a loving God that will nurture you because we are babies. But the other thing, too, is a part of humility for me is learning it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to hurt. If you're hurting, it's okay to say that you're hurting. You just don't have to stay there.
Yes.
And when you stub your toe, you say, ouch, are you embarrassed? No, because it hurt. So you accept the fact that things hurt, but you can also accept the fact that things can be joyful during times that people may look at you and say, why are you smiling with all that you're going through? It's okay to be joyful during a hard time. And sometimes that may mean changing your atmosphere, even if it's just looking in a different direction, speaking to a different person, helping somebody else to meet their needs, even though it doesn't seem like you have anything. Yes, something to offer. That's what I started doing, volunteering, sharing, reaching out to other people like you, responding to emails sometimes with tears in my eyes, but not letting the person know that I was crying, but to encourage them.
Absolutely. Yes.
So there are a
We're
lot
to
of
be comforters to others. Yes.
Right. So when we get into service mode, and I've had to do that because it keeps me out of a pity party. It keeps me out of, feeling deep, deep despair. But recognize when I feel that way, there are a couple people I can call and just say real quickly, I'm hurting right now, but I'm not going to stay here. And then we'll talk about something else. And then, that healing begins or that sense of hope stays there. But what really got me through this specific incident, I actually did a photo of me with the Drexel, I just said it, the university logo, a photo of me, a scripture, and I looked at that every day. And I started to see myself walking into the office.
That's what I'm talking about, Lee. That's what I teach all the time. To visualize it. Put some feet to your faith. I mean, this is so powerful. Everything that you're saying, and I'm so glad that you are reinforcing the very spiritual principles that I'm. Oh my God, that I'm always.
I'm on your website all the time. So.
I heard a couple of dualisms. I'm like, wait a minute, what did you? That sounds familiar.
Of course.
Oh my God, that's so good.
I've applied what you taught me when I,
Oh my God, this is so great. I am just overjoyed. And the website that you're talking. The website you're talking about is mine, donotgiveup.net, donotgiveup.net. And I've had it for like over 15 years. And so you have encouraged me, awesome man. You have encouraged me today. I know you're encouraging others. And the last thing I want to talk about, just want to get this in, you talked about how that day, knowing that looming over your head was a possible eviction and you hadn't gotten a yes about employment, you were getting ready to go for a walk, and you walk every day. How long have you been doing that? Because I think the exercise is so good for our mental and emotional health, not just our physical health, but it overcomes and rebukes depression. It helps you to experience gratitude and God's grace. It gets you out there connecting with other people so you can not only be blessed, but be a blessing to others. So talk about this ritual, that you do of walking. What are the benefits that you've experienced?
Well, the benefits were all the ones that you mentioned, and I started doing that when I was in California. When I was in L.A. seeking acting jobs, and the television show Mike and Molly, the first time I got booked on that show, I got booked to be a character portraying a member of their Overeaters Anonymous. Now, I was happy to have the acting job, but it made me look at myself in the mirror, and I went, okay, they're booking me to play a fat guy? So
the universe talks to us. The universe has a sense of humor, doesn't it?
Yes, and I'm cracking up. I'm happy to be on TV, but thinking, I didn't really want to be on TV like this.
Okay.
So I started walking. I was living in Sherman Oaks, and I would walk all the way to Studio City. I would walk between 6 and 8 miles a day. And while I was in Hollywood, I lost about 20 pounds.
That's amazing.
Left Hollywood and had to go to Texas for a little while, and I think I put about 8 pounds back on. But when I got to this part of the country, I decided, let me make a conscious decision to be healthier, but I also needed a break. I mean, in a city, when you live in a city, sometimes you just need to get away. So I combined the walking with my meditation, and as a result, I lost, in a 2-year period, a little over 2 years, 62 pounds.
62 pounds.
Yeah,
I've heard so often. Yeah, I've heard that's the best. The best gym is outdoors.
Outdoors. And then when it got cold, it's cold on the East Coast. When it got cold, I would go to the mall. Didn't have no money to spend anyway at the time, so I would go to the mall and walk the mall because I know that I get 3 miles in an hour. So I was that guy speaking to everybody in the mall, but not stopping in any stores. So that was me. That was me. Yeah. So I would do that for 2 hours and get my 6 miles on those really, really cold days. And so for 2 years, walking and then making smarter choices in terms of what I eat. Because it's an amazing thing that happens when you start to meditate and spend time, with God. Wisdom comes. You study, you meditate, you walk, and then all of a sudden, some things that you hadn't been paying attention to before, you've talked about this, you've written about it, your recognition system, gets a little more keen, and then you make better decisions. So it was definitely a process. Hasn't been perfect, but I feel 100% better, and I'm not done. I still have a goal to, lose another, 27 pounds, and that's just, I want to get back to my fighting college weight.
All right. Well, if we never went through these seasons of what we perceive as lack, if we never went through the pain, if we never went through the obstacles, we would not learn these wonderful pearls of wisdom. We would never learn to yield to how God's plan for our lives are unfolding. We would never learn how to be humble we would
Right.
never learn the importance of guarding our health and detoxing our bodies and detoxing our minds and even detoxing our phone book, who we talk to.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
so, yeah, and so I am so grateful to you for being so generous with your time today, with your testimony. I feel so blessed to know you and to reconnect with you. There are some positive things that do come out of Facebook, and I'm so glad that we are Facebook friends
Yes.
and that we could talk today. And I look forward to talking to you again. Let's please just stay in touch, because